Hello, hello, hello. Who do we have out there in the void of space tonight for a big day indeed for space engineers? Let's have a little look. I am joined by Marek. Marek, say hello to the stream. We're back.
Hello, hello everybody.
And what an exciting day it is. Now, this has been a long time in the making here, but today I'm happy to announce that we are launching the Automatons public beta, and this will give the community a chance to help us test and give us feedback on this next great update for space engineers. So Marek, just as we kind of get into this, let me just check the blog post. Good. Did you want to just give a little kind of backstory as to the development of this next update? And obviously it's been some time now. And also, why are we doing this public beta today for this update?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a couple of months that we have been working on this, like a lot of months. This Automatons update, like the idea, we came up with it like long time ago, and then we put it to our plan, and we wanted to release it, and it was really a lot of work because making AI in game, that can work reliably in different situations and edge cases, basically requires a lot of work. So that's why this update took longer than usual, and we also wanted to deliver it in a very good quality and not something that people will not enjoy. So, and that's actually one of the reasons why we are doing the public test or the beta right now, is to make sure that community is happy with what is in this update, and we want to get their feedback, and so that's the main reason. And so what it should be about, or what is inside this update, it's focusing on what we originally called Grid AI, which were new blocks and some new functionalities that allow you to create your own drones, or basically ships, small or large, that can be controlled by some AI, so they can be offensive, defensive, just like recording a path and then following the path or following the waypoints, proper pathfinding, collision avoidance, and all those things, and giving more control to players, because that was always a goal for us, is to think about ways where we can add something to the game that players can take and just multiply the possibilities. And actually something that can be configured, like AI, is one of those things that we just add few things. In this case, it's quite complicated things, but still just few things. But then people can combine them and use them in novel ways that we cannot even envision, and some emerging complexity will happen, and that's what we wanted. That's why we think that Automatons is a right thing for a game like Space Engineers.
100%. And I just know that the community, as soon as this drops, even this beta, the community is going to do some incredible things with it, and we're really, really excited to see how you guys get on with it. And we'll be launching it very shortly. So just in a little second here, we'll be smashing the kind of go live button, and it will be available on both PC and Xbox for testing. And the blog post will also go over how you can access this public test. I should also kind of mention the fact that this update is not looking so much at any kind of premium content or decorative content. This is really focused on the functional blocks of this upcoming update, which are mainly the AI blocks and the event controller block. So that is the main focus of this test. It's not the complete update that you'll have access to, just these, pretty major parts actually, but these are the things that we're really looking to get your feedback on. In general, Marek, as the team, anything you'd like to add to that comment?
Yeah. Basically, this is not an update or like a usual update. This is really a public test. So we want to test the functionality mainly.
Exactly. And because of the complexity, like already this is going to it's going to generate a lot of comments, no doubt about it. And at the end of this test, when you exit Space Engineers, you'll actually get prompted to fill out a survey, which will allow you to kind of give us your feedback on how you found playing on this build. Some of them are just like a rating kind of response, and others allow you to add some further comments there. So also, if you're taking part in this test, we really encourage you to fill out that form, that survey that will be at the end of the test, to really help us understand the community's perception of the features and what if there's anything that needs to be improved there. So that's the main point. Just while the team in the background does the final touches here on the actual launch, Marek, was there any other general news today that you wanted to share with the community? Anything exciting?
Just few things. So regarding this Automatons update, one of the things that I like is that when you have grid AI and the ships and drones, they start to move, the space feels more alive. So this is something that I like. When just things start to live around you. So that's what I like about this update. And a few more other things. This week we announced that Space Engineers Workshop has passed 500,000 items. So, there is more than 500,000 mods and blueprints and ships and skins, or, all these kind of things that people put on Workshop. And this also means that Space Engineers Workshop is fourth largest on Steam.
Amazing.
And we can maybe say even in the universe, because there are probably not other workshop that we know about. And it's quite interesting. And I would not say like something like don't understand, like how this happened, that if you think about it, that we really are fourth largest. And it's very interesting. And I think it means, or it's a proof of how creative our community or this community is. And that's, again, just a validation of the original idea that we had with this game, is that create a game where people can create things, and because people have need to create, they will start creating. And the workshop is the, almost like a gravestone to the idea that it just shows that that's true and people want to create. And actually the Steam Workshop is still growing. So people are still adding new things to the workshop. So I'm really very happy and also very grateful to our community that they're creating all the things for the workshop, because by doing so they're actually increasing the value of the game for other players who can
100%.
Who can exist in this ecosystem and download things and use them and so on. So that's one of the things. Then I wanted to announce that next month in March, from 20th to 24th, we will have a booth. Keen and Good AI will have a booth at the GDC in San Francisco. So, again, in a month from March 20 to 24, there is a game developer conference in San Francisco, and Keen and Good AI will have a booth there. So we will be there. A couple of people from our team will be there, and Chendo Jan Hlošek, who is the lead engineer on Virage 3, he will also have a talk or presentation about multiplayer in Space Engineers and explaining, like the technical details, how we optimize things in the multiplayer, how we make synchronized physics over network and all these things. So he will be talking about that. But anyway, if there is some developer who will be visiting GDC, you can stop at our booth and we can have a talk. I think that can be very interesting.
Definitely, that's two really exciting points. So definitely, anyone going to GDC and want to meet some of the team members, please do stop by. That's really exciting, and I'm looking forward to Chenda's talk as well. And again, with the 500,000 workshop items, that really is a massive milestone. Next up, 1 million, guys. Keep on creating. We got to hit that 1 mil. So yeah, it's really incredible. I'll be interested to see some more analytics about, like, in terms of the numbers of how over time there was like a surge of posts and stuff. But in general, it's really, really exciting. So thank you to our amazing community for doing what you do, and it's a special community. No doubt about it. So thank you, guys. So Marek, unless there's anything else, is it time to unleash the beast? What do you reckon?
I think it's time.
Okay.
So, guys, please release the public test.
There we go. Awesome. And just to quickly go over the main blocks you'll be testing, there was some speculation about what they contain. So there is 5 AI blocks. You have the AI flight or move block, the AI basic or task block, the AI recorder, sorry, it is a task block, the AI recorder block or path recorder, the AI defensive, and the AI offensive block. So there's the 5 blocks, and there is also the event controller. And do you guys want to know one bonus thing that is in there that isn't well, it is functional, it isn't strictly connected to AI, and that is the small connector. Yes, the small connector on small grids. It's here, it's coming. You're gonna have access to it right now. So as well as those AI blocks, there may or may not be some other smaller improvements that have found their way into the test. But yeah, in general, there's a lot more blocks that will come with a full release of this update whenever that comes. So there's plenty more blocks, but today the main thing is about those the new AI and event controller blocks. A couple things sprinkled in there. So thank you so much, Marek, for joining us today. It's really exciting. 2023 is another really exciting year for Keen and Good AI, and we've definitely got some great things in the plans and on the roadmap. And again, it's the 10th anniversary this year, so it's a big year for space engineers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Marek.
Bye.
Bye, Marek. Okay, guys, we're now going to get in Sander here to go over the update, and we'll answer some more questions from the chat. Steam is up now, so you should guys be able to update. And 1 second, let me just get Sander in. Hold on. We're also going to jump into the game and do some demonstration as well. Oh, that's not Marek. Hold on a second here. There he is. Sander, welcome. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, everybody. Good to be back here. This is an exciting time.
It's good to have you back. This is a really exciting day today. And we haven't had a public test. Oh, it's been a while now. Like, we did one for the multiplayer overhaul. We did one, I think, for like the actual release of the game. But it's been some years since we did a public test.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is the first for me. I don't think I was there with Keen when the other ones were held. So, well, exciting.
Definitely. And I'm actually going to just get this blog post up. So maybe you could just kind of reinforce here what we're trying to achieve by doing this public test with the community and getting more people involved.
Yeah, so the public test really is about testing the new AI features. So we don't really have any of the cool cosmetic blocks, many of which who were leaked or shared already. So really, this is just about getting the functionality, the features, and sort of the technical part of this update, getting it right and sort of making sure that everybody's happy with it. Probably there will be some bugs. We expect them, and I think once you play the game and once you play with the blocks, I'm sure there will be a lot of feedback. If you have any feedback, of course, feel free to contact us either on the forums or there will also be, and this is actually quite important, a questionnaire at the end where you can provide feedback and let us know what you think of everything. So yeah, this is really just about the AI blocks and the event controller, I should add. I think you also mentioned there are some small features that we have as well, like the small grid, small connector. That's sort of a new thing. It's been changed from the small ejector, and it's now a connector, so you can connect it to other small connectors. And I think additionally there are some other minor feature changes and sort of QoL improvements, but we'll probably let you find out what they are as you play the game.
Perfect. I'm just 1 second here. Yeah, I'm gonna just jump in with the blog post so we can go over that here. Just removing that taskbar. Sure. Annoying me. Great. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for doing the intro there to that. And actually, that reminded me of another point. Of course, guys, as it is a beta, like we do expect there to be bugs and issues here and there. So if you do, it's definitely important that we hear about those issues as well. So that's also really important. And because if the update was ready, it would have been a full release, you know, today or whenever. So that's the main thing here, is that we know it needs some polish, but we also want you guys to, you know, while we're on that journey, we want to get you guys involved. So that's the main point here. So maybe we can go over. We'll jump into the game in a bit. I think we'll quickly go over the blog post in terms of which runs through all those blocks. I quickly mentioned them before I got you on here. So let's just we'll scroll down here to the AI blocks, and maybe you can go through the 5 blocks here and explain them.
Yeah, so sure. So we have 5 blocks. We have the AI flight, move, AI basic task, the AI recorder task, the AI defensive combat, and the AI offensive combat. And as you may notice, there are 5 blocks, but 3 different sort of types of block. So we have a movement type, a task type, and a combat type. I think an important thing to note is that you can place all of these blocks on your grid, but only one of each type will be active at the same time. And I think we'll see how that works when we jump in the game, or people already playing the game right now might have already figured this out.
Almost certainly. Already people are making drones.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. So the AI flight block, that's sort of your basic block that controls the movement of your grid. So it sort of controls the thrusters and the gyroscopes pretty much like how you would in a cockpit. It doesn't really provide its own sort of inputs, except for sort of keeping a minimal altitude, and in case there's like collision avoidance has been enabled, it will also sort of do that sort of part. But it doesn't really provide any instructions. So to get your drone to actually do something, you need either a task or a combat, or both blocks. So let's see, we have the AI basic task block. That sort of provides you with a lot of basic functionality. So it can follow a player, it can follow a home destination that can either be a GPS or a beacon. So you can have your drone follow another grid around, or just a player. And it can also do autopilot functionality, which you may be familiar with from the remote control block that's been in the game for a very long time. So this block sort of, it deals with what does the grid do? Like, where does it move to? What's our sort of mission? What's our goal? What are we going to do? It's a task. Then we also have the AI recorder. This is also a task type block. And this allows you to basically record a path very precisely. So you enable it, you set it to record, you fly your grid some path that you want it to fly. It records any actions that you trigger. So let's say you undock or disconnect from a connector or whatever. You fly somewhere, and then I don't know, you switch on your lights or whatever. Really, any sort of action that you want to do with this thing, you can record and then replay that path and action sequence. And then, of course, this is a really powerful thing that you can combine with the event controller, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Oh, the event controller! I'm so excited to get to the event controller.
It's a game changer. Well, this is like everything is gonna go upside down now. It's really cool.
I just saw a comment actually, Sander, that we could have made a whole update just for the small connector. That's how much people are hyped for that. But also the event controller. I feel like the event controller could have been its own. Like the potential that the event controller alone adds to the game is just like unimaginable. It's absolutely unimaginable. It's going to be crazy these next couple of weeks to see what people make. Just a quick point, guys. I see lots of questions. Okay. We're going to go through this first and get into game, and there will be plenty of time in a bit for answering the questions that you guys have. So please hold your questions, or maybe other people in the chat. I see some mods in there helping people out, so that's great as well. But in terms of a Q&A segment, we'll just kind of go through the information. So maybe we'll answer your question by doing that, and then we'll get to some more in a second here. So just wanted to add that in there. Karen, Sander.
Yeah, cool. So let's see, you went the task recorder. I pretty much explained what it does, I think. After that, we have the defensive combat block. So what this does is basically it recognizes if there's an enemy or a neutral nearby. You can sort of set it up however you want. And then you can make your grid flee to a home location. if like an enemy has been detected. So let's say you have some drone that follows you around with the basic task block. That maybe that's a drone that carries a lot of cargo for you when you're out there, maybe mining some resources. You're dumping it in your sort of cargo carrying drone, but then an enemy appears. Oh no! Well, you can, if you have a defensive block, you can get this grid to flee to its home base and basically wait there until the threat is gone. It will also basically lock onto other targets, similar to how players can lock onto stuff, and fire any turrets that you have on that grid. So it also really works as, like, let's say, a passive base defense system. If you want to have something that can reach a little bit further than the regular turret AI, you can use a defensive block and shoot down stuff that comes at you. Then I think, and this is probably my personal favorite, we have the offensive block, and this one really does a lot of things. It allows you to basically build a sort of fighter or battleship or artillery thing, or even a suicide drone. What it does is you can set it up, and similar to the defensive block, it will recognize enemies or neutrals, and then perform an attack run, or an attack pattern, I should say, upon finding the enemy. So you can set it up to either stay at a certain range, so let's say between 1,000 and 1,500 meters, and use let's say a railgun to shoot at the target, or you can set it up to circle or orbit around the target. Depending on, if you're on a planet, you probably don't want it to orbit, but you can just circle around it. If you're in space, then orbiting makes a lot more sense. So you can then set it up to orbit the target, and depending on, again, there's a lot of options here, but depending on how you set it up, you can have it fire like static weapons, so any sort of Gatling guns or artillery cannons or rocket launchers, or a railgun, or you can just use your turrets or both to fire at some enemy and do a circling maneuver around it. Then you have the hit and run pattern. The hit and run pattern allows you to set up basically like a small grid fighter. I think it works the best for, but I'm sure people will come up with creative things to use this for. What it does is, and this is one of the things that we teased, I think, in it's been a while actually, a couple of months ago. It allows you to set up a grid so that it sees an enemy. Let's say the enemy is at 1,500 meters. It flies towards the enemy, and then unloads all the weapons you have. And then once it's close to it, it sort of turns around and retreats, and then comes back and makes another pass. And this allows for some really cool dynamic sort of action. You can also, all of these offensive ones, I'm pretty sure, maybe not all of them, but most of them you can set up to also have sort of perform evasive maneuvers, so they're a bit harder to actually hit in return. And you can do really cool stuff with it. And then finally, I shouldn't forget, we have the intercept pattern, and this basically allows you to set up a drop pod or whatever, like a suicide drone or a missile, anything you really want. And of course, and this is like where the real magic sort of happens, is when you combine all these things with the event controller. So let's say I want to have an offensive block, or offensive drone that attacks targets. Then you set it up as like, oh, actually this thing is starting to take damage, or it runs out of ammo, or whatever reason. I switch now to a different behavior, and I actually go back to my mothership and dock, or to my base and dock, and reload and rearm and refuel, and then I go back into the fight. Like, really, the sort of, there's so many things.
That's such a good example there, and it's just like, that's the point. The AI blocks can be used on their own. You don't need to use the event controller, and you don't need to use the event controller with AI blocks. You can use the event controller with lots of the existing functions of the game, or you can combine them for just just that's all I can say.
So there's so many cool things. Like, I don't think we ourselves really know how far this will go, and this is part of why we do this beta test as well. Like, what crazy stuff will people come up with, and I'm sure you guys out there, you'll probably come up with something crazy that we never considered, and that might break the game. Who knows? In that case, that was a really good reason to do the beta test, because then we figured this out and we learned from it.
And not everyone, of course, may be able to join the public test. So we're going to, in a second, guys, we'll go into the game and I'll show you all of these menus and all of these settings, many settings in game in the control panel. Just get to the bottom of this. So hopefully this will answer some of the questions that there are just by going over this here. So next we come up to this this mythical event controller here. Let's learn about the event controller then, Sander. I should also mention that these blocks, these AI blocks, are available on small and large grid. Same with the event controller; they all are. So
Yep, you can use it on whatever you want, on a grid, or like a base, or on a small grid, large grid, whatever you want, really. So yeah, the event controller. This is maybe the most powerful tool we've added to Space Engineers in the last couple of years. It's really up there. It's super cool. So this block basically allows you to check other blocks for events. So let's say you have a door and you want to check if the door is open or closed, and do something when the door is opened or closed. And then what you do is you set it up in this block. You select the door. You select what it sort of should do. Is the door open or closed? And then trigger some action. So when there's going to be two, well, we'll see it when we're in game, but there's going to be two sort of slots that you can put it in. The first slot is for when it's the true action, and the other one is for when it's the sort of the false action. So let's say you have the door opened, trigger slots and the first action, and then you can turn on a light, or maybe vent your air system, so you can have an even more automated airlock. Probably a simpler airlock as well that requires less blocks than previously. You could have it set up if a block takes damage, if a grid takes damage, maybe you want to do something, a booby trap. Grid takes damage, set off a warhead. Really, the sort of the things are endless what you can do.
So a lot of these functions would have been locked exclusively to the programmable block in the past. Yeah. Actually, if anything, I don't know if there's new functions you can do in terms of what's wireless, but I believe probably most of it could have been done with the programmable block. And I also think the programmable block still has some further advanced potential, to if you really want to go out there. But obviously, this event controller makes that automation a lot more accessible to players, which is a great thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's sort of the let's say primary reason why we did this. Like a lot of this stuff you could do with scripts and programmable blocks. Of course, that's not really accessible to a large part of our community, being on the consoles. But also a lot of servers don't really allow it for various reasons. And what this does is it makes this just so much easier, and it allows automation for everybody, really, not just for people who are able to program or you have to download a mod, but you can now just make it. And it's so flexible. You can combine all these things with all the blocks, you have an event to trigger some other event, or go nuts with it, really.
It's even better for Xbox players, because Xbox players don't have client-side scripts. So actually, where you could have some on dedicated servers, now Xbox players playing in single player or hosted games can now actually automate ships where they wouldn't have been able to before. So that's also really exciting.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
that's I think the one of the core features of this is just giving this sort of power to everybody, really.
And just quickly here, we'll just go over how to install it if you guys are still confused about it. So when I made this nice GIF for you guys so you can see as well here. So if you on your Steam library, you're going to right click on Space Engineers. It's going to start again here. Right click on Space Engineers, properties. You hit select betas, and then you scroll down and select the Automatons beta. And on Xbox, you're logged in to your account, and if you already own Space Engineers, you can find the beta version of it under owned games as SE demo there. So this is also the instructions for Xbox public test, and there's some pictures here explaining how to do that one. So that's that. And I think finally, just a reminder that after you close the game, you can provide us with feedback on these new AI features with this feedback form, which is, it's one thing I think if you guys play it, that's also great. But actually, for this test, the most important thing is this feedback form, because this is stuff that is going to directly affect our understanding about player perception of this update, and also what we need to look at and what maybe is good and so on. So really important. I'm not sure anything else to add to that, Sander, I think, to know.
No, that's pretty much exactly as you said it. Like your feedback is super important to us. That's the whole reason why we're doing this. Why we're not just releasing the update as as it is. We were actually really looking forward to your feedback and sort of learning what you think about it, and finding any issues you run into, or maybe you break things. Who knows? Like we'll see, and then we can work on that.
Awesome. It was there. Okay, so just on the features in general here, I already touched on it. I saw some hype in the chat about it. Just for those who may be joining later, there is also the small grid, small connector, which was originally the ejector, which was basically made into a small connector, which is also massive. It's such a, quite literally a tiny thing, right? But it's it's players have wanted it for so long. So I'm also excited about what players will use this new functionality of the small connector for. Is there anything else, any other small things that you'd like to mention that is not in this necessarily?
So this is
careful now.
Again, this beta is about the AI blocks and and the event controller. That's like the main thing we're looking for feedback on. But well, there are some small quality of life changes and minor feature improvements. So I'll just, I guess, quickly go over them.
Go for it.
Well, we've already mentioned the small connector. That's really not part of the AI stuff, but it's in the game and you can play with it. We also have some improvements to the custom turret controller, so it can now track the sun. There's a checkbox down, if you scroll all the way down, I believe. There should be a checkbox, and then you can set it to track the sun. So if you have any sort of
solar
panel
right?
arrays, exactly, yeah, and you can set it to automatically follow the rotate and follow the sun. Also, the movement input is now allowed when controlling a custom turret. So similar to regular turrets, for all you people who like to build tanks or other sort of rovers, or even grids with turrets on them, I guess, you can now control your grid similar to how you would normally, and using taking control of a normal turret, how you can normally control the grid as well.
That's such a big deal.
Now also does that. Yep,
that's really great, because I've seen so many tanks and stuff using the custom controller and stuff like that, but then not being able to control the grid. So those are just two small things, and I know everyone's hyped about these AI blocks and hyped about the event controller, but some of these quality of life things you can never
totally,
you can never underestimate the power of some of these quality of life things. So sun tracking on the turret controller and control of the turret controller while also controlling the grid. So
there is more, I should say, though. There's a few more things. Okay. So one thing is actually I guess pretty big, and people will probably notice this when they play it. We've made some improvements to how target locking works and sort of simplified it, sort of streamlined the process. So before, when you locked a target, you then had to use the copy target function to actually make your turrets fire at the target if they're more than 600 or 800 meters away. Now they should automatically do this. So when you lock a target, the turrets, if they're not already shooting at something else, like let's say maybe there's an enemy at very close range to you, and then you target lock something that's very far away, the turrets will continue shooting at the thing that's very close to you. But if there's nothing targeting you or nothing, fighting at close range, then whatever you target lock, your turrets will start shooting at that. The copy target feature or button basically has been replaced by a focus target button. So in case your turrets are already engaged and you're locking a distant target, you can use that to force them to sort of focus their fire on the target that you locked. The forget target button has been removed because you don't really need it anymore. You can simply unlock, or you can just turn off your turrets. Then let's see, what else do we have? Finally, this is wait, I should say, to the target locking features, we also have a out of range indicator that should now display under your reticule. So if you're, let's say you have Gatling gun selected and they have, an 800 meter max range, and your target is at whatever, 1 kilometer away, it will say, target's out of range, and you have a little bit more indication what's going on.
Also then, really nice addition there.
Yeah, just a small, it's a small thing, but it's in this beta. It's not something we really want you to maybe focus on too much, but we're really looking forward to hearing your feedback on the AI blocks. But this is something I figured we should mention. Oh, and one more thing, we have changed some weapon names. Really for making it easier to find these weapons, because right now we have all these cool weapons. They have all these great names like MR20 and PRO, like all the cool sort of names, but that sort of made it hard to find them. So basically what we did for all the weapons that have different categories, like a pistol, rifle, or rocket launcher, we've basically added the category to their name. So if you're now searching for a rifle, you will find the 4 rifles that we have. Same with the pistol, same with the rocket launcher. And finally, for sort of consistency and ease of use, we have renamed all the missile launchers and rocket launchers to sort of be the same. So they're now all called rocket launcher or rocket turret, or like reload a rocket launcher, I believe, is another one. So basically some minor name changes, but they really should help you find them much easier in the inventory.
Great. I mean, all really nice kind of bonus changes there. That they say that's not in the blog post because, again, it's the focus, the testing that we're really interested in the feedback in is the AI and AI blocks and event controller. But these things are still some cool things that you guys can appreciate and enjoy now. And and of course, when the full release of this Automatons, formerly known as Grid AI update, releases, there'll be even more epic stuff. Yeah. Ooh,
there's so much more. Like all these cool blocks that you've seen, you know.
It's in the background here.
Yeah.
Wait, is that 2x2 wheels I see there, Sander?
Yes, maybe. Well, you'll find out when we actually release this, this update for real.
Yes, we'll find out more later, Okay, cool. So let's jump into the game. I'm in the game already, actually. I'm already organized here. And we're going to start getting some of these blocks out and actually, going through some of the panels here. So
I'm actually totally not organized, and I'm not in the game. I can join you.
Okay. Oh, no, it's okay. Okay, I'm not that organized then. I need to set it. It's set offline right now. So let me just set it to. Let me set it to friends, and you can join me. Hold on.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, there's. I've seen some breakdowns of this image behind us here already. Actually, this is the splash screen for this, but there's a lot of hidden gems in there, no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, like I'm not sure if like people found out all the blocks yet.
No.
There's so many. Like I don't know.
There's definitely still some blocks that players haven't found, or maybe we haven't leaked yet. Ones that haven't actually slipped out, maybe, yeah. So, okay, hold on. So now the game should be open. I think we're friends, aren't we, Sander? So you should be able to join me now.
All right, I will try to join you.
Right, let's see. And Aragaf can also join me. I know there was, Aragaf was doing some crazy stuff with the AI. I wanted to show you guys one of the other examples. Maybe I can just show it on stream as a video a second here. Just as an example that you may have... Oh, where can I find this? So, what is this? Is that a video? Oh, yeah, here we go. This will work good. So I just want to show this video, guys, as well. Really quick. Okay. Okay, great. This should work. Oh, no, it's not working yet because... Hold on. Here we go. So this was another example that we actually posted, but it just gives you an idea about the event control. I wanted to show it live today, but I didn't have it set up right before the stream. But basically, again, this is another example for you guys for a use of the AI blocks and event controller, where this mining rover is actually mining the rock, and when the cargo container is full up on the back, the little drone head there that detaches, it's connected via a small connector as well. And, that is right, yeah, so the looping is interesting. So yeah, then it automatically disconnects, flies to the nearby deposit, like where it will actually release the ore. Then it will fly back to the rover when it's been emptied and reattach automatically. Like all of that can be done and automated. So you can just focus on where you're mining and where you're going, and this drone will just keep going back and forth, unloading. So you never have to drive your rover back. So that's another example. I mean, I think Sander did a really good example earlier of how a drone that might get damaged or run out of ammunition could go back to base and restock, refuel, repair, and then go back into the action. And that's kind of like a combat example. And here we have a more kind of engineering example here of, making your mining more efficient. So that was just an example which I was going to have in today in game, but I actually ended up not having it in the end. But maybe we can get some other stuff in here. So Aragav's actually joined my game. I'm going to get... Oh, where's the music gone? That's all good. We lost our music. Okay, I'm going to open up this. Ooh, we're in the game. Okay. You should better join Sander, I think.
I'm not sure. I'm not seeing the...
Are we not friends?
That might be my
Impossible.
problem. We should
We
be.
are friends, I swear.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've been doing this before. Like, a few times.
Yeah. So let's get... I'm going to get the AI blocks here. Bring them out into the light, and you guys can see them here. Actually, do one at a time. This is the large grid version, of course. And I saw some people commenting, and we should definitely give a shout out to the amazing artists, because all of the new blocks, both the AI blocks and the event controller, small and large, look great. And even if you don't use the blocks, just as decoration, there's no doubt that these blocks... Let me get the event controller on my toolbar as well here. Yes, because there was some people were wondering what this might be, but this is actually the back of the event controller. So with the event controller, it looks really cool and technical, but also you have a new style of floor, wall, or ceiling, whatever you may need. So once again, blocks and space engineers can be utilized in more than the way that they're kind of mainly intended. So big shout out to our art team. I'm not sure if we have any watching today, but they have done an exceptional job, and they continue to actually, push the quality out there. Oh, we're not friends? I don't believe it.
It appears we're not. I'm not sure what's going on.
That's a bit awkward.
Or maybe my Steam is acting up, because I don't really see other people in
Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Am I appearing off? No, I can't be appearing offline because... Okay, hold on. What? Wait a minute. Actually, you're not appearing online to me. Are you appearing... Oh, are you invisible right now?
No, I should not be.
Okay.
But I also don't see everybody else, so I probably have an issue with Steam.
No.
And I may need to restart my Steam.
Turn off.
No.
Turn off. Oh no, we probably want damage. I don't know what's going on here. Who's being shot? Okay. So I was just trying to get. Actually, put them down here. It's okay. Have a look, and then I'm almost certain we're friends. That's why I'm a bit confused. Let me just each the A blocks down one at a time. So AI flight move, AI recorder task, AI basic task, AI combat offensive, AI combat defensive. So the visuals are the same for each block, mostly. Obviously, the icons are a bit different there. So if I just come in here and give me one of these just so we can sit and have a look around. Okay. So let's go through some of the settings here. I mean, actually, I probably should have done with a small grid, then we can actually set up a drone. But I really wanted to go through how they look in the control panel here. So let's start with the move. So the move has, for all the blocks, you can enable or disable the AI behavior. All this red text actually will help you to debug your drones. If you're wondering why your drones are behaving not as expected, or they're not working at all, maybe you can come into the control panel of them, and you'll get actually these error messages to tell you what is going on there. The AI flight,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was part.
Sorry, yeah.
Go ahead.
So this is actually a thing we spent quite a lot of sort of time and effort on to make sure that these blocks sort of give you the right message to tell you if something wrong, or if maybe something isn't quite set up right, or really whatever's going on. And these blocks should basically tell you, you don't have a flight input, so you need to have a movement block on the grid, or it can't rotate because you forgot the gyroscopes, stuff like that. So it should hopefully really make it easy for you to build your drones.
Yeah, because you may not immediately get the hang of it, depending on your gameplay experience with Space Engineers. This is definitely, we've tried to make it accessible as possible. But of course, if you're still relatively new to the game, this is still one of those more advanced kind of feature sets, I think. So in here we have some, you can see behind me here, we have speed limit. Let me just make Aragath admin. I'm not sure if he wants to change some stuff. He said he can. Aragath, if you're listening in, please do get some stuff set up for us, and we can have a look in a second here while whilst we've gone through some of this stuff. Okay, so yeah, move block. So we have the options to turn off collision avoidance and all that. And I should point out that in general, pathfinding in the game is one of the biggest challenges that the team has faced working on this update, because it's a very complex. It's very complex in nature, and this is something that we're still kind of looking at, and we're really curious to hear how you guys get on with it. But yeah, it was one of those things that was. I think Marek touched on it, but when we look back on the other updates, you know, Warfare, it had some complicated things that we needed to kind of figure out. But this Grid AI, or now Automatons update, is really the most complex update we've done in a long time. I actually don't know. I don't know how we'd like measure it internally, but I can't think of when the last time there was features that were so demanding in terms of trying to, from the design point of view, but also from the programming point of view.
Totally. This is like one of the most complex updates I think that we've ever done, at least for SE, and it took some time to get it right, but I think we're very much in a good track here.
For sure. So going through some of these things, we've got the speed limit. We can align to the planet gravity. We have the minimum altitudes, the max pitch, max roll angle. So the flight move doesn't have too many controls in there. If we come up to the AI basic task block, this has 3 objectives to follow home. So that can be a ship or it can be a base. And again, you can use this in kind of together with the event controller, like we were saying, that maybe after certain blocks get damaged or you run out of materials or something, you can actually then send it back to base, for example, could be another thing there. And for the player, you just hit follow me, and obviously it's not going to work right now because it's a station we're on, and you can adjust the follow distance as well to your player and to the home. Now, if you select autopilot, it's a bit different. So we get the different modes of autopilot. There's the patrol, there's the circle, and there's the one way. And with this, you'll add waypoints into this. And of course, I think they're quite self-explanatory what exactly those different modes do. I'll just go through this and see. And then, hold on. Yeah. So yeah, you can add the waypoints in here. You can reset them, copy them. I'm not sure, Sand, if you like to add anything to this autopilot section.
No, I think you basically covered everything. This is the autopilot is very familiar if you already know the remote control block,
right?
That's been in the game for a long time. So the autopilot basically does what the remote control block did previously, and we haven't removed the remote control block. Nope. It still works just as well as it used to do before. Maybe even better, I think, because we did make some changes to collision avoidance and improvements there. But overall, this sort of takes that feature of being able to follow a preset sort of patrol route or whatever, and sort of transports that sort of functionality to the new Grid AI system.
Precisely. And now we have, I'm going through a bit random all on the thing here, but now we have the AI recorder task block. So once again, we have the AI behavior on or off. And then we have the replay or the stop button for the recorded path, and also the option, the toggle to repeat it. And it's a similar situation. You can add waypoints into this, but of course, normally you can add it manually, but actually what you're going to want to do is come down here to hit the record button and actually record it. So all these waypoints and actions. Hold on, what's going on here? Don't know. Hold on. Am I good? I've got a bit of a freeze right now.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I'm not sure if Aragath's doing something in the background, but no.
Uh-oh.
Let's just see. First bug found. Yes, exactly.
Oh boy. Well, it's a beta. That's
yeah, and if
there might be issues.
if there are any, obviously the beta build has been tested, but if there are any kind of major crashes or major issues that are really going to prevent the test from going smoothly, then you can expect some hot fixes in the coming days. So we don't know yet. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure what's happening right now. It's very strange, actually. It's back up. No, I think it was just thinking about maybe. Oh, I'll tell you what. I don't know what's going on behind me. Someone could have pasted something in. We'll see. So yes, and there's the record interval as well, and like you can change, because if you have it really low, it will be just as you're recording, it will be really just like putting down tons of waypoints. So you can change this, all the way up to 30 seconds there as well. So this is just scroll over this. And of course, we have the toggle, the kind of hints here, which will also help you. So,
tooltips are definitely a big part of, I think, communicating how these things work, and they provide hints with, what you can do or what features you have. An interesting part as well is the reference beacon. That if you have a beacon nearby on another grid, you can use that beacon as basically the reference point. And so when that beacon moves, the waypoints that you recorded will be relative to that beacon. So let's say you have like a carrier ship or something, right?
Important.
You put a beacon on there, and then record a path for your fighter to dock or undock. That path will stay with the carrier. So if you move your carrier, you fly somewhere else with your carrier, your fighter, and that path will still be valid because it's relative to the carrier.
That's it. And that was such a good thing to add in, because of course, if you not had that, you would have a carrier, you would record some cool function, the carrier would fly off, and the drone or the fighter or whatever would just be way back behind you, right? So that reference beacon is very important as well, guys. If you're doing stuff with drones around moving grids, so that's also a really nice point there. So that's the AI recorder task. Now we have the AI, the third block here, the AI defensive combat. You got the AI behavior toggle on switch, and you can choose what to defend against, if it's just enemies or neutrals, and also. Actually, now I'm wandering against here, because the subsystem. Because I'm just thinking, like, defend against enemies with. Maybe you need to explain this to me, Sander. Because I get weapons, right? So defend with enemies with propulsion, like.
Yeah. So you can choose a subsystem here. So by default, the default setting basically means all subsystems.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
Right, yeah. So if you set it to, let's say, weapons, it will only flee from stuff with a weapon. Like, if there's an unarmed drone or whatever coming near you, that's not really a big threat. So you can just ignore that, basically.
I understand now. It's not the ship. It's not the ship's subsystems. It's the other grids subsystems.
Yeah, it's the enemy with the subsystem. Yeah.
Right, now I understand. That makes more sense, of course. So choose how brave your drones are.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have also the option to lock a target as well there. You can also target characters if you want, or keep that off. Now you have the flee trigger here. So this can also be important here, and there's the tooltips will explain that. So, never flees, always flees if it detects a grid within 2,500 meters, and the defend against and with subsystem conditions are met. So it's got to meet the other conditions as well. You have when target locks, of course, when another grid that meets the same conditions locks the grids. And when it actually starts taking damage, it will flee. So there's also some flee to, and then you have a flee to waypoint as well there.
Yeah.
So
and this waypoint can be either a beacon or a GPS coordinate.
And there you go. So that's.
And then the flee waypoint size basically determines how close to that waypoint you need to be, the drone needs to be before it's considered to have reached that waypoint.
To be safe, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So let's say you have a beacon inside your base or whatever, you probably don't want the drone to actually fly directly to that beacon. Like it's probably safe when it's, let's say, within 100 meters of it, or whatever you ever set it up.
Cool. So that's the defensive, and the final block, as Sander said, is his favorite block, is the offensive. Again, we have our toggle on behavior. We have the option to choose between enemies and neutrals, or both. Also, not both, enemies and neutrals. We have the character target toggle, and we have the target priority, the closest, largest, smallest. We have how often it scans and searches and potentially switches targets depending on the condition there. And then we have the subsystem, the attack pattern. So this was what Sander touched on earlier, which is some really interesting, and this will really change how those drones actually how they actually interact, with that enemy grid.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So we have the circle orbit, the stay at range, the hit and run, and the intercept patterns.
Depending on what weapons you have on that drone or ship, will actually probably change all kinds of things. If it's a smaller, it could be kind of like a glass cannon kind of thing, where you just want it to really just blast in there, get a couple rounds off, get out of there. Or maybe you want to have just an absolute chunk of a weapons platform, kind of mobile weapon, but will just be kind of just taking the hits and staying nearby. So that's also good to have. Connected with circle orbit is the circle orbit the circle distance. Just curious here. This does actually. So actually, I need to potentially change these to see some different functionality. Okay, that's good. So we have the orbit around the gravity as well here. If you have that selection.
Yeah, the circle in gravity basically, and what that does is so in space you have it basically just orbits, so it's just like a sphere around your target. But in gravity, let's say you're attacking something that's on the ground, you don't want it to act as a sphere, because then it has to go underground or something through the terrain. So that doesn't work. So that's when it circles. If you set the setting, and then it will just go around in circles around your target.
Exactly. So the stay at range, we have there's the minimal and maximal distance there, and also they have the evasive maneuvers toggle, which will give it a bit more randomization to try and confuse the turrets or the players who are controlling those turrets there. So there's also that option. That's right. Okay. No, okay. Just making sure. There's also hold on. I'm just making sure and they have the facing mode, right?
Yeah. So that's something that's really only for the stay at range and the circle orbit that have this facing mode selection. So you can either manually select the facing mode, or you can have it be determined based on the static weapons that you have. So if you manually select this facing mode, it doesn't use the static weapons. So let's say you have a big battleship with just a whole bunch of turrets on it. You don't really care about that you have some, I don't know, let's say some Gatling gun or whatever that's pointing forward. You can just say, I want the battleship to always use either its left or right side to, let's say, circle around the enemy, and sort of broadside it. Or you can, or say just the front or the top or the back, or you can select all of them, and then it will basically just randomly choose whichever one is sort of suited at the right time. If you select the weapon selection, so instead of the manual facing mode, you select which weapons you have. Then you can select your static weapons, so your Gatling guns, your railguns, and you can have them determine what direction the grid faces the enemy, and uses these weapons as well. So it will basically use whatever weapons you select to have it do that.
Exactly. Perfect. Here. So I'm just trying to see. Did you send me a friend request, Sander?
I think I did. I don't know. My Steam is just being weird right now. I don't know. I don't see half of my friends online, which is kind of strange. So I'm not sure what's going on. I restarted it and it doesn't seem to work.
Okay, I'm just accepting. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I don't know, honestly. Right, okay, and coming back up here, we have the hit and run selection for the attack pattern, and we have the break-off distance, the retreat timeout, the retreat angle, and also a toggle here for pass over target there.
Yeah.
So do you want to maybe comment on some of these?
So, yeah. So again, like the sort of basic stuff are the same, but then here we have the break off and retreat distance. These are so the break off distance is when the grid approaches the target. At what point does it sort of turn around, or like not necessarily around, but like at what point does it sort of move away from the target again and sort of repeat that attack run? The retreat distance is to what distance should it retreat when breaking off from the attack run. And then we have the retreat timeout. This is basically so that, let's say you're trying to retreat, but your target is actually following you. So you're being chased by your target. Well, in that case, you probably don't want to retreat forever. You want it to, after it doesn't reach the retreat distance for 30 seconds, it'll turn around and actually start fighting again. And then try to make another, retreat run after it gets to the breakoff distance. And then the retreat angle, and this is basically the angle, relative to your approach angle to what the retreat angle will be. So let's say you're coming at your target this way and you have a 90-degree retreat angle, then once it's at the break-off distance, it will place a new waypoint 90 degrees away, from the initial attack run direction, and retreat in that direction. And so it goes to your target, flies away, goes to your target, flies away, goes to your target, flies away, and it will sort of go around the target eventually. And this is really depending on how you set it up. If you set it up as a retreat angle of 180, then basically it will return exactly the way it came from, and you will just continue going at the target, going back, going at the target, going back. If you set to 0, basically that means your retreat will be exactly opposite of the target. And in this case, you have to have some collision avoidance come into play to actually avoid your target, because otherwise you're going to smash into it.
Don't want that. Well, maybe you do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sure, if you want to, that could be a tactic, right? That could be something. Then, and again, this is you can modify all this stuff with actions, right? So with the with the event controller, you can change the behavior on the fly while it's doing it, and that makes it really kind of crazy.
And I'll get that down in a second here. I just want to we'll just this is the last one here, is the intercept, and after done the intercept,
well, actually, there's one more thing regarding the hit and run pattern. Like, we have the pass over target feature, and what this does is basically on a planet, it makes sure that the retreat is always going up again. So you don't retreat into the ground or into a mountain or something. You just go down into the target and go up again, go down into the target and go up again, like a fighter plane would do in World War II or something.
Awesome there. I'm just okay, great. So that was the hit and run. We got through in the end, and finally we have the intercept here, and now we have 3 types of guidance.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, this is for everybody who loves making PMWs, right? So there's been many ways you could do these before.
Controversial topic there, Sander.
All right, well,
PMWs, let's go. All right.
Yeah, so basically what this whole intercept thing is to smash into your target. Your grid finds your AI finds some enemy grid, and this smashes into it. You have the override collision avoidance checkbox, and this means that it will ignore your collision avoidance setting. I advise you to probably switch this on as you get closer to your target using the event controller, but that's up to you. And basically it will smash into the target. And you have different guidance types. So we have the basic guidance type. It just goes to the current location of the target that it sees. And then we have target prediction. So it sort of predicts where the target will be, similar to what we do with the, where you have to lead a target. It will do basically the same. And then we have the proportional navigation. And this will try to keep the target at sort of a constant bearing, so that it makes it a little bit harder to both be hit and also sort of will cause an intercept course at all times. So yeah, there's different options for you to choose, and you have to sort of play around with it and see what sort of works for you or what you prefer. And maybe different systems can use different things. That's really up to you.
Wow, I'm loving the comments, guys. I know we haven't like gone over many yet, but I love the comments that you guys are saying. So PMW is a player-made weapon. So it's like so rather than the weapon blocks, it's using like thrusters with warheads and sensors or programmable blocks and stuff. So that's what that stands for. There's many ways of doing it. So let's. I think Aragath is in here. He's going to show. Okay, let's have a look at something Aragath's got, and then maybe we'll jump in the event control just to kind of break it up here a second. So Aragath, what do we have here? You made yourself a little friend here. Okay, we're going to follow him. We got the mini mule. So this drone's obviously set to follow him here. Okay. And obviously, this could just be showing that how, like, again, let's see, is it going to do something here? I'm wondering if it's just showing mainly how, you know, you can have a cargo mule that's kind of following you around as you're doing stuff and building and mining or whatever. And rather than having to run back and forth to a ship to actually unload and get stuff, you can actually have this basically as a, you know, as a portable cargo expansion. So I think that's what's going on there. But it's working very nicely there. So what have we got here then? Oh, this is the, okay, so let's have a look. So this is, I think this is one of Aragath's airlocks, right? So as an event controller, 2 doors, 1 vent, 1 oxygen tank, and a little oxygen, optional button panels or sensors. So you build the airlock, I like the instructions here. Turn the inside door off and set the vent to depressurize. Select the door open condition on the event controller and select both doors. Now set up the actions of the event controller as follows. Toolbar 1, and then use second action slots to turn on and off the interior door. Toolbar 2, use second action to turn off and off the exterior door. Toolbar 3, use second action slot to depressurization of the air vent. Set up the air vent, use first action slot to open the interior door, use the second slot to open the exterior door. To activate the airlock, you can either close any of the 2 doors or set up the 2 doors in a group and have them close using a sensor or button panel. So beforehand, this wouldn't have been possible. So you might have had to press a button or use timer blocks or, you know, even if you had something crazy going on, maybe even scripts if you wanted some really crazy airlock. But now what will happen is if I come into this, actually it's pretty good setup already. So, oh, actually, that's actually, well, that was actually, didn't have to say anything. It was so quick. So to watch that, watch this here. This is a legit airlock. You ready? We're gonna walk, and I'm in a pressurized space now. So let's just walk through. And just like that, I have gone from a pressurized space to space without having to hit anything. Smooth, sleek. I was planning to like explain it here, but it happened so quickly. Wow. So there we go, guys.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's Aragath's example, and so all you need for this is, again, you don't need the button panels or sensors. All you need is the event controller, 2 doors, a vent, and obviously some kind of oxygen connection, which can be all on your base or ship. Because you could have it set right, so wherever if I do that, okay, I think, yeah, no, it is doing it. So he's got it set up on sensors here, but also that's a problem now because I'm actually trapped outside. But probably I can press this button to undo this. You see what I'm doing here. Me closing this. Okay, I haven't triggered the sensor yet, so I can do it. If I close this door, all the things go into motion. It pressurizes automatically, and that door opens. And it's a bit confused because of the sensor. So you might not want to use all of it, but it should just give you guys an example of how you can simply set up a really, and this means no accidental venting, which I'm very guilty of, and many more things. So this is actually just a really quick example. Thank you, Aragath. That's a great use of the event controller here. I'm not sure if you have anything else you can show off on the stream here. I'm just going to jump into the event controller here. We can probably go on this grid, I guess. Show some of the, hold on, this is half blocks. Wait, they're all half blocks. Okay, hold on. Just come down here a second. Right. So if we come into the event controller here, are you guys ready for all of the options? Here we go.
There's so many of them.
I'm not even ready for this. So we've got, the options to set up the actions here, and we have the events. So I'm gonna open this event screen. You guys are gonna, there might be some tears. Hopefully tears of joy. Let's go. So I'll just quickly read them. So these are all events that can trigger actions of our blocks: altitude, angle change, block added, block removed, block integrity, cargo filled, cockpit occupied, connector connected, door opened, as we're set right now, gas tank filled at a certain percentage, landing gear locked, piston position, power output, stored power. So these are all the ones we have currently, but this should allow you to actually, perform most actions that you could ever want to do, actually. And we have the selected blocks here as well that are involved in this. So we have the input and so you have the event, door opens, input, door, I mean, you might want to rename them actually. Sliding door interior is closed, input storing exterior is open, and the action slot 1 is the output here. So if we just, you can see, we can open this up. Go on, go ahead.
So this is actually this. Well, at least I hope, but this should make it a little bit clear what the event controller is doing. So it'll tell you what event you have selected, what the input is for that event, like which block you have, or multiple blocks you can have. You can select more than one block, and what the output is. And that's the thing. Like if you add multiple blocks, then you can also have the button all the way at the bottom that says AND gate, and then it needs to trigger basically true for all of those blocks. So you can either say like, I have 2 blocks selected, let's say, and if one of them is open or closed, I do a thing. Or you can say, if with the AND gate, if both blocks are, state true, then do something. So with this, you can combine a bunch of stuff and make it even more advanced. But I think to actually get this to work, I'm not sure, because I'm looking at your stream a little bit right now, a little behind. I think you have to actually add them to the list, or did you already do that?
No, because this is
never mind. Yeah.
I think it's already set up here.
Yeah.
So got a search bar in there as well.
Oh yeah.
Might need that later on a massive grid there. So yeah, that's gonna be. So really, guys, go to town, go crazy with this event controller. Even without the AI blocks, show us what you can automate with this.
I mean, this is another thing, right? We would love to hear your feedback on this. Like, is there maybe any event you're missing, or you feel like, there should be another event that you can do? I don't know what. Like I think we've done our best to accommodate pretty much everything that we could think of, but who knows? Maybe you guys have some more ideas.
Yes, that's actually that's a really good point, Sander. So please use that feedback form to suggest, just to make any suggestions, because there is a lot in here, but as you guys know, there's a lot to do in Space Engineers, so there could be more events that could really, I mean, off the top of your head, is there something that, you guys can see the list here, let's see Sam, let's see some suggestions. Brian Arda says seat occupied, seat vacated, event.
Pretty sure that's a thing. Cockpit's occupied.
Oh, cockpit, right? Okay, so I guess cockpit, I just broke it probably, but cockpit occupied. And once you select that, now I can see the block I'm sat in. So that probably is also seats as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Seats and cockpits are the same thing in SE.
So maybe just
we should rename that.
Yeah, maybe we should rename that. We'll see.
Yeah. Good point.
There's actually a lot of suggestions here. I just going crazy. We got merge block connected event. We got weather, a weather trigger event, mag plate lock. Self-targeted, target locked, rotor thruster fired. I mean, some of these I thought are there, but we got jump drive, rotor and hinge are there. I'm just trying to think what they exactly. We have piston position. Is that going to be? Hold on a minute. I saw. Wait a second.
Yeah, we have a piston position one.
But rotor, but not rotor right now.
No, we're rotor as well.
Wait.
What? That's the what's it called again? The angle change.
Oh, angle change, of course. Angle change will be. Sorry, I'm slow. Angle change will be hinge and rotor. Okay, so as you can see, Sand, I'm not sure if you're looking at the chat, but there is like a bazillion ideas for events.
I see a few more ideas. There's some really good ones. Like I think the rotor connected, disconnected. That would be really cool. I think. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yes, I know what Rivian's after there. Yes, Mech Bros rise up. Yeah,
yeah. Totally.
So
That's a
definitely,
good one.
obviously, this isn't the best place to collect those, but if you fill out that feedback form, it'll obviously all be compiled, and we'll be able to look through those and see if there's some ones that are both kind of, possible and are not going to cause any problems or anything like that. So please do go for that. That'd be really great here. Let's see, there is some stuff happening. I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, I think we've got some of the drone combat going on here, I assume. Let me just fly over here, see what's happening.
Yeah, I think Arigat's been quite busy making kinds of cool stuff.
I think, let me just jump on this. I believe this is a drone. Yeah, it is a drone. So we've got a fighter converted into a drone here. It looks like it's on it's actually chasing down this space pirate security drone here. I guess they're both, they're both AI here, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a thing, right? Like battle bots or whatever. We're going to see people make cool stuff that just fight each other. Oh, we should do a tournament. I don't know. I don't want to.
Well, I think once the release comes and everyone's had time to, work on their builds and get any feedback down for the AI, then for sure. Because it's interesting here, we can see we have those. It's actually damage is turned off right now, guys. But you can see the static firing weapons, and that's actually, this drone was actually targeting. Okay, it's just, you saw it there switch targets. It actually was targeting the blue Corvette, I believe, and now it's span around to target the blue fighter, which is also a drone. So the recoil on that thing, it actually, watch the recoil. I think, is that really blowing it backwards? I think yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
So
I mean, that's the thing, right? If you build a tiny little fighter with a really big gun, then well, the recoil might just knock it back and totally off course.
So Aragav's actually playing around here with the setting. We can maybe come and jump in and have a look what it's. Let's have a look at what he's got set up here. So he's got set up to enemies. Closest target is the priority. It's switching very quickly though. 5 seconds is the search. Power systems are there, and it's got circle and orbit as the option. And it's also got the manual facing priority being front, which I think is what you said, Sander, when you have those static weapons.
Yeah, so that
probably.
I think maybe a little bug we have here actually, but
yeah, it does look like it might be stuck. I can't tell.
Not sure what's going on there.
All the action that we see happening here is drones fighting. Like none of this stuff happening is players. So this is all drones fighting each other. There's two sides here.
I mean, it's just you and Arigath in the server right now, right?
Yes,
so,
and John.
Like nobody else is doing.
John Wack is in here, but I don't think he probably hasn't had time to look at the update yet. So I doubt he's probably just thinking, what is going on? Okay. Zoom in here.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Here we go, because they're kind of like jousting here, right? You can see the security drones, it's panning to the right.
So that one's like, it's actually trying to evade the other one, I believe. I mean, it does a pretty good job actually at it. It seems the rockets are not really.
The rockets of the other. Let's come to the blue fighter here, which is trying to shoot it, and they're actually at a decent range here as well. So. So I think, guys, as I've seen many questions, we can jump into some questions. Santa, which chat do you have open? Do you have?
I'm on the Twitch chat.
Okay, I can. If you want to read some questions that you saw in the Twitch chat, and I can relay you some from YouTube as well. So I would carry on showing some stuff, what's going on in the background, what the guys are up to, and if you want to address some of the pressing questions that have been asked about the update, the AI blocks, the event controller, and also, of course, just the beta public test itself, then now is the time, guys. Strong is asking, how long is the beta?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the beta is supposed to last for a week. So we have, from today until next week, basically.
Yes.
play with it.
There's a chance, of course, that maybe things can be extended. We'll see how it goes. But you have at least a week, guys. So make the most of it. You have a whole weekend to jump on. And we'll see how that goes.
Get locked onto event. So that's actually interesting. The cockpits have a action that you can trigger when the cockpit or the grid basically has been target locked. This has been in Sins of Warfare 2, but I don't think we advertised it very well, so maybe not everybody's aware of that.
People are stressing about it only being a week. Well, we'll see how it goes, guys. Yeah. Let's get when we get to the end, we can speak to the team about it. Maybe in your feedback form, you can say we need more time. It can be one of your comments.
I mean, if everything goes well, then we can hopefully actually move on to a release of this. But we'll see how it goes, right?
Yeah, it is true as well. It's a good point. Because maybe we'll look at it after a week and we'll see, okay, we need to make some things here and there, but let's just go for the full release. So that's a good point, actually. So these coming days will be really important to actually understand, the perception. So
yeah, absolutely, yeah. So Bluestone DE asks, can we change these events with AND conditions? Yes, you can. There's a button for basically making AND conditions. If you scroll all the way down in the event controller, there's a checkbox for it. Let's see if I can find some more interesting questions from people.
I'm flying back to basic because I got chasing the drones off into the distance here.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Maybe I will convert a drone into one. Here, I'll do it live. I think we showed it maybe on the last stream. I just want to quickly check that I don't. Okay, 1 second. Kubarok's asking about performance. How does AI affect performance? I guess if you have a bazillion drones, and is it minimal, and should people be kind of careful of anything?
That's a very good question. I'm not probably the right person to answer this, but
okay.
I believe this is also something we're testing really in the beta. It's been tested internally, of course, and if there's any major performance issues, that should be fixed. But yeah, I don't think it should impact stuff too negatively. Especially, I mean, I don't know. I'm not into the hardcore performance optimization stuff. But I can imagine that doing stuff with the event controller might actually be better for performance than having a whole bunch of scripts on your server or in your game.
Oh my god, there you go. That's a good point.
It maybe depends on what you do, right? So yeah, I don't know. But that's something definitely we need to look into what the performance of this is, and we get a lot more people playing this than our internal team and testing things.
So I'm hiding. Yeah. I'm trying to convert a drone here to show everyone how you do a basic drone, but it's getting attacked. Trying to find a little hidey hole which I can build in peace. Is there a cruise mode with the speed and angle fixed? I guess, or could you achieve that? I guess.
I'm not exactly sure what's meant with that.
So the speed and the angle. So I guess you just set wait. Yeah. Now I'm also thinking maybe you could elaborate a bit there, because I think you can do that.
Yeah, I think so. I'm still not exactly sure what the question exactly is.
Going in a straight line, only deviating for collision avoidance.
You can do that, sure.
Okay.
If you get the drone to go into a certain direction, or do you mean literally like the drone doesn't do anything unless there is some sort of collision, and then
yeah, I think that's probably what.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess you can make that. You could just have a drone that goes to a certain waypoint. If you set the waypoint at a faraway place, then it will go there in a straight line. Or you could use the event controller and the sensor maybe to trigger collision avoidance on or off in case you do something. You can have it monitor for like the minimal altitude. So if you go too close to the surface of the planet, you can have it switch on the AI, and sort of the autopilot will take you to safety.
There we go. Cool. Okay. I'm just seeing there's a lot of questions. Sander. Oh, I see. Hold on, Kana. I see Kana Yashi. Wait. Maybe they mean like also because like it could be quite fuel wasteful because it's like continually thrusting and adjusting. Like so basically where it would basically turn off dampeners and like kind of once it's on a course, it would like save fuel and then like drift towards its target. I don't think that's how it works, but that'd be kind of cool if there was some setting for that.
I mean, you could do that in some way.
Event control.
yeah. I mean, with the event controller, you can just switch off all your AI blocks and have your dampeners disabled, and then it should just continue flying in a line until you switch it back on.
There you go. Probably a lot of things can be overcome with that. Ooh, so many questions. How to choose. Let me just quickly go over this guy's here, and Sander can have a look on the chat to see if there's any questions that he wants to look at there. So this is just an old drone of mine, and I've put down 4 of the blocks. Don't need the combat. It's not a combat guy here. So, I mean, I think I did this something similar on the last stream. So we're going to come in here, and you saw me in the background place those blocks. It was super simple. Place them down. And if you want just a little friend to follow you around, you can just... Oh. Wait. Has he already set up for me? What's he going on? He just... Okay. Wait, what? What's going on here? I don't know what... Wait, what? What? What was that about? Who was this? I don't know. Okay. Oh, he's just moving it around. Oh, he's just doing it so you can press it here. Okay. I was going to see. Is Aragaf doing it for me?
Yeah, I think he's setting it up for you there.
Oh, I was going to show how simple. I was going to show that even I can do it. But apparently he didn't like me procrastinating. I do know how to do it. I don't know. I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious what he's doing here.
You showed it off on a stream before, right?
Let's see. I think he's already set it up. AI task, follow me. Yeah. So I can just come in and show you what he's done. But so all you have to do is come into the flight move block, turn on the AI behavior. You might want to change the speed limit as well, but and collision avoidance on or off. So you just change those toggles. Then you come into the AI basic block and turn on the behavior as well. You hit follow player, and this happens to be following me here. So yeah, and because I pressed the button, that's why. So whoever presses the button...
It follows you. If you press follow me, then it's following you.
Yeah, but he said it set to the button, because I was thinking, how did it get my name?
Right.
Because he said it, so whoever presses the button sets that. So I pressed the button.
Yeah.
So now, when I get more than 10 meters, it should... Yeah, there we go. So now, actually, it is following me here.
Yep.
I'm not sure what the distance... I think it's like 10 meters away.
Yeah, sometimes it needs to, because this is a pretty crowded space, right? So it might need a little bit of time to actually figure out how to get from where it is towards you. And this is maybe a bit of a, I would say, compromise for performance that we had to make, is that it's not like, super extremely immediately responsive. Sometimes it can take a little bit to actually figure out, because there's just so much stuff going on. There's like 20 grids or whatever in this little area that you're in right now. Yeah. So it needs to figure out that, okay, it's actually safe to, go from A to B and not crash into any of these grids.
Calculating.
Yeah. And this is the thing as well. I just saw a question that was an interesting one.
Okay.
So, why does the AI grid need thrusters in all directions? And why does the AI face the enemy when it's forward direction when intercepting? So why does it need thrusters in all directions? Well, otherwise it can't move in all directions. So I'm pretty sure the AI actually works if you don't have thrusters in all directions, but it might struggle a bit actually going where you want it to go. And then why doesn't the AI face the enemy with its forward direction when intercepting? So this is actually something that you might have already figured out, but it's important that the movement block, so the AI flight block, is placed in the, let's say, the right direction. So there's a front, back, front, rear, left, and right symbol on it, and this basically determines what is the forwards direction of that grid in this case. So similar to a cockpit, if you put a cockpit sideways and sit in it, then that side becomes your forward. If you place the flight movement block, with the forward side facing to the left or whatever, then the left side is now considered to be the forward side for that block. And again, this is something that you can actually use and sort of exploit in some ways. If you have two of these blocks and you switch between activating one of them and then activating the other one, you can basically on the fly switch whichever direction, the forward direction of your grid. And I should say, so the flight block, the flight movement block, it has a forwards direction, and the recorder block has a forwards direction. And the rest of the blocks don't really care too much about which direction they're in. It's not really relevant for them. Of course, the combat blocks do have some sort of directionality when it comes to what direction your weapons are facing, but it takes the direction of what is the flight block. So it's really how you build your system that sort of determines this. And yeah, just make sure that you face them in the right direction that you want them to face.
It's really good to point out, actually. In the background, we just saw someone had made this intercept drone, which was basically ramming the target. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And actually, just to mix things up, actually, the artillery cannon started firing at this kind of, this grid. And it threw it off course and missed. I'm not sure if you were watching it. And then it came around the backside, span around, and kind of came for a second pass. And the turrets and the ship were still shooting at it, but it still eventually managed to get a blow in here and actually took out the front of this ship here. So that was pretty cool. You guys just saw the intercept, which is your there's another one. You basically saw your PMW hit. Oh, they're all getting pasted in now. There we go.
Yeah, it's carnage.
Oh, that one's broken, I think. That one got destroyed. But a lot of these PMW drones now coming in. There was a question, apparently, I've got a message here from Drewy saying that a lot of questions on wheeled rovers and automatic miners ore detecting.
Ore detecting. Oh, that could be a cool event.
So there's... okay, so... Oh, my goodness, that was terrible. So yeah, a lot of questions on wheeled rovers with the AI blocks. So is that something that currently...
Well, not currently, no. We don't have a wheeled rover controller. But yeah, we hear your feedback, and I think it's definitely an interesting idea. I think there will be a lot of technical challenges to overcome for that, but never say never. Yeah, maybe.
And I think also the ore detector event, not currently, but this is it. This is why we're doing the public test, guys, so we can hear all your ideas and really see what the community feels most passionate about. So yeah, just keep it coming and use that feedback form.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so the event controller should have the cockpit occupied / not occupied because the action doesn't trigger unless you get into it again. So I think it only...
Right. That's interesting. So it doesn't trigger if you set it up while you're already sitting in that cockpit. Well, that's a good point. Maybe we should look into that.
Yeah, okay. We need an on damage event, start projector, aka self repair. Wait, we have that.
Yeah, we do have a damage event, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, so there should be when block is damaged and then you can trigger welders and stuff to start welding.
Mm-hmm.
It's chaos on the server here. Drones attacking everything. What role will AI be playing on Keen official servers? Will they be allowed? Will server owners have to disable the AI from functioning on their server without having to use a mod? I mean,
I think, yeah, as of now, we expect that should just work. You can build them however you want.
Yeah. So whether or not certain servers don't want that, it's another question, I think, but it'll be there by default on all servers. How those servers utilize AI is another question. Depends who's playing, right? So that's another point.
Yeah, that's true.
It should be on Xbox. Is it live on Xbox, guys? Just let me know, because it can sometimes take longer for builds to be pushed on Xbox.
Should be. I believe I saw some messages that it was live, but you might need to
It is on Xbox. So yeah, maybe restart your Xbox, guys, and check the blog post for instructions how to access the beta on Xbox. But Xbox should be good. We're playing it right now, Tenable. Great. So happy for Xbox players who can now automate their grids with the event controller. Auto dock possible? Totally, Eagle.
Yes.
And we've already seen it. I played a video here. I mean, this, I'll play it up again here, have it to hand. This is an example of it working, where it's dropping off this ore, it's flying back, and it's like actually docking with this rover. It could be the same for a combat grid that was needing to, like a combat drone that needs to go back to the mothership or the base to rearm or something. So yes, auto dock is totally possible.
Totally. Somebody's asking, could there be an event for the basically checking if the drone has acquired a target? So I think in the current beta there is not, but that is something that's definitely very interesting, and well, it's a good suggestion. We may need to look into that.
Aragav sent me a message saying you can also improve defenses of ships and stations by adding a single defensive or offensive block to it to increase the range of turrets without player input. So there's another little thing there.
Yep.
Yeah, that you can use. You don't have to use the movement AI. You can just use the defensive AI on a ship to improve that. So that's a really great suggestion, Aragav, and something that, again, I wouldn't necessarily immediately come to my mind, but just using it alone, that's pretty cool. So awesome stuff.
Yeah, totally. I see some more interesting questions here in chat.
Go for it. Jump in.
With the auto duck, does it also orient properly in space? So that depends on how you set it up, really. If you use the recorder block to record your docking sequence, the recorder block not only records the position of the grid and the waypoints, it also records the orientation of your grid and waypoints. And maybe this is something you could actually show, Joel. Like, we have the option to show what path you recorded and where the waypoints are going.
Let's do this then. I need. That's probably not in here anymore. Okay.
So how it basically works is similar to how you set up, like, showing the range of your sensors or your gravity generators or something like that. In the info tab, basically there should be now a show AI functions button. And if you switch that on, and then on the various AI blocks, and in this example, like the recorder block, there's a button show path on HUD, and then if you enable that, you should be able to see. I think you also need to actually show on HUD in general, needs to be on the block.
Hold on. This is the AI, but this is AI move. Hold on. Okay, that's fine. Right. So I got AI move recorder. So let's see here. Let me just come out. I'm gonna cave. Oh, I hit something. And now we can come into info screen and we see the show AI functions, right? So enable the show AI. Oh, I'm crashing already. Not good sign. Oh, it's probably my AI blocks. Yeah. Oh, I'm being shot at already. That's not good. Okay, hold on. I need to just turn off damage for this. I'm never going to... Damage disable for... And let me turn off shooting as well, because I need some peace and quiet for a second here while I show show this demonstration. So let's send the let's do the path recorder here. So if we come down and we hit, what's it on? 1. Let's just change it to like, that's fine. And then hit records. Hold on. Wait. No active move. Oh, there we go. Now it should be active. Right, we good now?
Yeah, you also need to enable the show path on HUD, and then I think you should be able to see it.
Okay, here we go. Let's try that again then. Wait, I need to add a, okay, I need to add a thing block, okay. I thought you could just do it too, but apparently not. Okay, hold on. Needs this as well, okay. No.
So I'm a little bit behind on the stream, so I don't really know exactly what you're...
It's all right, I'm just trying to get the, okay.
I think if you have
now it's
just
10.
need a record block and set it to record, and you don't need to enable any behaviors or anything.
Okay, it's recording now, I think.
That.
We just see.
Yeah.
We see. Although I don't know if this is working. Let me just do a short, just testing this here, because I think something's, I did this already, but like, yeah, it's out of the waypoints here. Let me see, but why is the move block not working? Right, now it is working. Okay, now everything seems good. I don't know. Right, so now we have these waypoints, right? Are they on the HUD? They're not.
Do you have an antenna? That's also an important thing.
I don't actually, so I just I blame Aragaf. This is his old fighter here, so.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Right. There we go. Check it out. There we go. Everything looks good now.
All right.
Look at this. Beautiful. So we can see the path now that it's recorded. I don't have to manually create it. And now if I come into this, this here, and I just wanted to check we can repeat the path, and now we click play. So now it's gonna fly back to the first one here. I can jump out and you guys can see.
Yep. Another
So now it's going to go back.
Interesting feature is
Go ahead.
that something players will probably find out. You can also reverse the order of the path. There's a button in the recorder, and basically hitting that just reverses the entire sequence. So you can play it, back and forth. If you could record at your last waypoint the reverse order action, and then it will just forever, I think, should forever just go back and forth along all your waypoints. And so the recorder is really what you would probably use to make your docking sequence. So you record yourself docking with a station or a ship, and then you can play that, or record undocking. You can play that path.
I confused it. Yeah, exactly, because this is just showing some. This is just showing just basic. I just wanted to test that it was working properly. But of course, you can use this and have a much more complicated recording here. And also, you saw how it did it every 1.7 seconds. But depending on if you're in open space or what exactly you're doing in the grid, then you could have less of these waypoints. But it's very useful to have this. So again, guys, you come into Info, Show AI Functions, and you need an antenna. And within that recorder block, you actually want to show the path on the HUD, so that should help you there.
And let's see, another interesting question: will the small grid small connector be able to connect to large connectors? No, because they're very different in size, and I think that's a thing that mods used to do. If I'm not mistaken, there was a small grid connector, and that allowed you to connect to the larger grid. But we used our our small connector can only connect to other small connectors. If you want to connect to a large connector, of course, you have the small large connector.
There we go. I'm just seeing here. Oh, we had a music. No, just gotta. Yes,
The
yeah.
event can-
It's go on. Go ahead, man.
Oh, sorry. No. Go on, please.
No, I just said it was. Yes, just quick. Yeah, it is on Xbox. Just some late joiners,
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Can the waypoints be related to a different grid and ship? Yes, they can.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is where this very important thing we mentioned earlier, which is the reference beacon. And I can probably show this here. If I paste in another ship, just do red ship, anything here. Oh, that's a bit big, but all right, it'll be fine. I think this. PC, PC, bro. Okay. Peace. What? Oh, okay. Okay, we're coming somewhere. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, I've got dampeners on. So if I'm not sure this has a beacon or not. Just put a beacon on it real quick. Okay, just slap it down. We got beacon. So I'm curious here. We went through it, but I think this is my first time using the beacon as reference here. Let's see how well it works. So we come in, we do info, we do I think it was, hold on, it's confusing, but I think it's this one, blue. So now we've selected this. Wait a second. Oh, it stopped. Interesting. What has happened, Sander? So me selecting that as the... do I have to re-record it now? No, wait.
I don't think you should have to.
Let me just click play.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah, because as soon as I clear it, it's fine. So... Yeah, whenever I select any of the reference beacons, it stops working. So that might be something to... I don't know if there's some reason for that.
That might be some...
But in theory, what should happen is, guys, if I was to reverse that ship, those waypoints that you see would move together with that ship. If you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what's happening there. If it's a bug or if I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's my first time doing that feature. Again, there's a lot of features in this. So.
Probably 50-50 bug or user error, but that's I don't know. I mean, this is this is a beta. We are encountering bugs all the time, I guess, and well, that's why we're doing this, seeing what's going on and what other issues we run into. So yeah, I see this question in the chat a lot. Like, is it possible to make this relative? And it should be possible, but it might be.
It's planned to be possible, designed to be possible. Apparently, the recording of path and showing on HUD doesn't work on large grids. So keys that might also be a. I don't know specifically. That could be a bug though. So it's a public beta. It's a public beta, Bailey. Check out the blog post for information how to access it. No, and it's just a drop down on Steam. Or on Xbox, you just access it via your games because it's like the Space Engineers demo, I think it's called.
Will the event controller be able to detect grid speed? Well, that's a good idea. We will have to think about that. I think that would be cool. Will it be possible to save and share recorded paths between grids? I don't think you currently can, and I don't think we had plans for that. But that's an interesting idea. We'll have to see what we can do with that.
Let's see. I think we'll probably, Sander, regardless if the test ends next week or not, I think probably next week we can do another stream if you'd like to be there, and we can either do a kind of recap from the feedback that we've already. It might take us a while to go through all the feedback, but we can get probably a good gist of the idea, and we can maybe do some more. Once players have actually had chance to jump in themselves and try these features out, then maybe we can come back to this and actually because I think some of the questions, the things are possible, right? It's just a matter of jumping in and trying them and using the event controller and whatever you need to do it. So,
yeah, for sure. Oh, this is, I think, sort of hitting on this. Like there was, I saw somebody asking this before. I forgot who it was. But I've seen a few people asking if we can get some of these example grids that we've made and stuff that we've been showing here, like the airlock and I guess the other stuff that we've teased. I think the idea is that once the update actually goes live, this will be made public and available. I think for now we're not going to publish it just because there might be changes to the code or whatever, which will require again changes to that grid perhaps. So yeah, not right now, but eventually I think the idea is that we will publish all of our internal sort of material as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that we try to upload it onto that workshop page, guys. The official website, official Keen Software House collection, which I'm not sure if I have a link to it to hand, but you should be able to find it relatively easy in the Steam Workshop. I think if you search Keen SWH, it should be there, and it's you can actually subscribe to that account, and that is I normally take care of that account because I'm normally uploading all the stuff I use in trailers because that's the normal thing that people want. But also there is some stuff in there, Smoky and Aragaf, I think also have access and can also upload some just stuff that may have been created. Not for the trailer necessarily, but maybe we use it on stream as well. So, thank you. I think Drew just linked it there. So I think, guys, as we've just hit the 2-hour mark here, I think we will bring today's stream to a close. I know there's lots of more questions, but I think the best thing now is for you guys to actually jump into what our team's been working on for all these months. And I'm sure there's going to be more streams, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of content creators also posting their findings and reviews and everything to do with this update. And we can regroup next Thursday and actually kind of go over what the general feeling is, because I think right now it's just, whoa, there's so much stuff to break down and there's all this crazy potential. So I think that is the course of action from here. I would really, really remind you again to please do that feedback form for us, because that's really going to be important for getting as much data as possible in terms of any changes that need to be made and things need to be added. Is there anything important you'd like to add, Sander?
Yes, I have heard that we are aware of at least one crash, and I think I've seen a few people in the chat mentioning this. If you search in the event controller, apparently the game might crash. So that's something we need to look into. But again, this is beta. Stuff like that is sort of what we expected in some ways. We definitely are aware of some issues. So yeah. I don't know what exactly the plan for this beta is in terms of like fixes or stuff. I think we're just going to run it for this week and sort of see what comes up and then fix those after that. So yeah, well, lots of
awesome stuff,
interesting feedback,
and just well done to you, Sander, and to the whole team for getting to this point and putting in so much work into this update already. And again, I hope you guys are hyped about what there is here today. Some of even those quality of life stuff, and again, as you can see behind me here, there is a lot more goodies to be added when the full release comes. So thank you so much all for joining us. Just a normal ride as always to carry on giving general feedback on our support site and bugs that you find. But specifically, if you have stuff connected to this update, this public test, I would encourage you to use the feedback form for those suggestions and feedback. Also, the Keen Software House Discord server. I know many of you are on there, hopefully all of you. So you can join that at discord.gg/KeenSWH. So that's also a great place if you're new to jump in and meet fellow engineers and get tips, help, find servers, get into modding, all that good stuff. And if you are getting to the stream late, I'm going to actually add Marek's blog here as well. I think actually Carmuck's not very good. I'm going to post it on YouTube as well here. So there is today's blog post announcing this. So you can jump onto that and go through that if you're also just getting here. So, Sander, thank you so much for joining me today and answering all those questions. I think we could honestly, with so much stuff here, we probably could have been here like 10 hours. I wouldn't have surprised me. There was endless questions. So I think that's what I'm saying. I think we'll really let the players jump into it and find and discover what is possible and maybe what's not, and all bugs and not bugs and all the stuff. Discover everything. All the hidden things. Totally. Maybe there's some hidden stuff in there as well.
I'm really looking forward to see what people come up with. This is going to be a great week. I'm sure. I'm
excited. Yeah, it's going to be already the workshop. Absolutely. And stuff is going to be filled with, incredible stuff that people have automated, and drone carriers and it's going to be wild. It's going to be really wild. The kind of community Discord and Steam and social media this week. And if you have some really cool screenshots or cool videos, tag us on social media and say, hey, look what I created. And we would love to check it out and stuff. So please do that as well. So thank you, Sander. I'll wrap this up here and do some shout outs. But we will see Sander very soon, guys. Hopefully next Thursday. So well done to Sander's team and the whole team as well. I say you saw some of the artists' work and the programmers' work and the QA. So lots. It's a lot of work and love and effort went into this, and I would say the team is not just me. There's a lot of people here, and I'm actually a very small part of it. So thanks to everybody who's been part of this so far, and enjoy to all the people in our community. So thank you. Awesome, man. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. All right, Sander. Have a good night, man. Right. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Okay then, guys, so just to wrap this up, I'm going to do some final shout-outs here in the chat. Let's see, who do we have in the chats then of both YouTube and Twitch? I'm going to try my best to give some shout-outs today. So it's the shout-out time. I see a Dog Legator, The Glad Gamer, Mighty Asa, Itar, Dagonius, Buffmaster, GCCG, Ryan, Kappa Capitan, Umbrella, Tiny Tank Fox, Luca, Isbad, Lieps, Rude, Make, Guaylo. Oh, this was going to be hard today, Eric. That was probably a mistake. I see. Let's try again. Ganiashi, Zana, Chibeb, Mr. Touch. Okay, I think I can handle. Okay, hold on. YouTube is wild here. Let's try. We got Drew, we got Lord, we got Turnip, we got Redlink, Nerd, B Swiss, Otten, Hellbound, Yuri, Official, Otten, Havelbane, Caldemo, Karmic, Condor, Blazing Dust, The Ha, Udraken, Samtown, Cyborg, Zazens, Tharsis, Redlink, Tessera, Desara, Yamos, Echo, Roni, Yuao, Ovalipe, Lord Clang, Rivian, Keverific, Richie, Flash, Chozo, Awareness, Shogun, Redlink, Bregus, Jedi Lunchbox, Space Engineer Zero, Ananatsi, Skewmorph, Goblin Mine. Oh, so many. It's many hundreds here, isn't it? I don't think. Am I ever do this? I don't think so. Sam, Consti, Jacob, Saxmo, Baron, Constus. I'll do a couple more here. Green Bean, Sparta, Roberto, Tagad, Excited Gaming, Surrogate, EC, Le Pumpkin, Capitan, Zio, Stigmato, Skyfall, Jeremy, Mogamu, Joshua, I'm Watching You, Play with Tats, Zanga, Aravi, Jarcat, and many more. Many more people. So thank you guys. Sorry if I missed you there. To everyone who joined us, it was really exciting to finally get the Grid AI or the Automatons update out there for you guys to jump into and help us with feedback and really see where the direction of this update is going. So I will see you guys in the next one. I think next week and the conclusion of this test, or maybe it'll be extended. We'll see how it goes. But really enjoy. We're really looking forward to it. And finally, hold on. That's all for now. And until next time, try to make the best of this special public test.